Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the previous videos, we learned what pods are and how Kubernetes creates and replaces them using a definition. In this video, we will take the next step and actually do it. We will create a simple pod definition using a YAML file and use kubectl to run it on a local Kubernetes cluster. I am running Kubernetes locally using Docker desktop, so everything you see in this video will happen on my machine. The goal of this video is not to memorize commands but to understand the flow from a YAML file to a running pod. Let's get started. Before we create anything, let's first check whether Kubernetes is running. For that, we need to use the command kubectl get nodes. Kubectl is the command line tool used to talk to Kubernetes. Anytime we want to ask Kubernetes for information or tell it to do something, we use kubectl. In this command, get means fetch information and nodes means show the machines in the cluster. This tells me that Kubernetes is running. I have one node called Docker desktop and its status is ready. Since this is a local setup, the same node also acts as the control plane. This is completely normal when running Kubernetes locally. This is all we need to start creating pods. In production, a cluster usually has many nodes. Locally, we usually have just one. As long as the node status is ready, Kubernetes is ready to run pods. Now let's switch to Docker desktop and see the current state of Kubernetes. I have already enabled Kubernetes in Docker desktop, so the cluster is running in the background. At the top in the cluster section, I can see that my Kubernetes cluster is active. This confirms that Kubernetes is running on my local machine. Next, pods section. Right now, I don't see any pods here. That's expected because we haven't created anything yet. Kubernetes does not create anything by default. It waits for us to give it a definition. The next section is deployments. No deployments. I don't see any deployments yet. That's expected because we haven't told Kubernetes to create anything. Kubernetes is running but no applications are deployed yet. The next section is nodes. Here I can see my node called the Docker desktop and its status is ready. This matches what we saw earlier using kubectl. The next section is services. This service here is created by Kubernetes itself. You may also notice things like ConfigMaps and secrets here. We will talk about them in upcoming videos. For now, we are focusing only on pods and how they are created. So, at this point, Kubernetes is running but it's empty. Next, we will create a pod using a YAML definition. Let's switch to Visual Studio Code. Let's look at this file, pod.yaml. This file is a pod definition. It describes what Kubernetes should create. API version. The API version tells Kubernetes which API version this definition uses. Kind pod. The kind field tells Kubernetes what we want to create. Here we are creating a pod. The next section is metadata. Metadata contains basic information like the name of the pod. Next one is spec. Spec describes what the pod should run. This pod runs one container using the Nginx image. You don't need to memorize this file. For now, just understand that this file describes the desired state. Kubernetes reads this file and creates resources based on it. Now that we have the definition, let's send it to Kubernetes. We will do that using kubectl. Let me clear the screen. We need to use the command kubectl apply. Let's try that. Kubectl apply -f. The file name is pod.yaml. This command sends the YAML file to Kubernetes. Kubernetes will read the definition and create the pod. This confirms that Kubernetes has created the pod. Let's quickly break this command down piece by piece. kubectl is the command line tool we use to talk to Kubernetes. Anytime we want to ask Kubernetes to do something, we use kubectl. Apply means create or update resources using a definition. If the pod does not exist, Kubernetes creates it. If it already exists, Kubernetes updates it. That's why apply is commonly used. The -f flag stands for file. It tells kubectl that the definition is coming from a file. Pod.yaml is the file, we just used it here. It contains the pod definition. So, use kubectl to send this file to Kubernetes and tell Kubernetes to create or update resources based on this definition. Let's verify the pod is running. For that, we need to use the command kubectl get pods. Now the pod is running. Here you can see the container that Kubernetes created. Let's check the Docker desktop. Pods, my first pod. Here you can see the container. To describe the pod, we have kubectl describe command. Let's try that. Kubectl describe pod. We need to pass the name. The pod name is my first pod. Let's try that. This command shows more details about the pod, like events and container status. Status running, containers. I usually use this command when something is not working as expected. You don't need to understand everything here yet. Let me clear the screen. Now let's do the cleanup operation. For that, we need to use the command kubectl delete. Let's try that. kubectl delete -f pod.yaml. Pod, my first pod deleted from default namespace. Let's check kubectl get pods again. No resources found in default namespace. Let's switch to Docker desktop. There are no containers and no pods. You may still see the Nginx image in Docker desktop. This is expected. Deleting a pod removes the running container. But Docker keeps the image cached so it can start faster next time. Let's quickly recap. We created a pod definition using a YAML file. We applied it using kubectl and Kubernetes created the pod. We have verified that the pod was running and then we deleted it. In the next video, we will slow down and really understand this YAML file, what each section means and how Kubernetes interprets it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.